I don't even know where to start this. What's up, y'all? My name is Riley, and I just graduated from college. I applied to vet school, and looking back on the application process makes me think about all the things that I wish that I had known before going into it. And so I kind of wanted to make a series of breaking down the application process. Applying to vet school starts in high school. And I wish that I had been told that because I wasn't. And I regret that I didn't try a little bit harder to learn more about the process, but I honestly thought, that's 8 years away. Why would I even worry about that? Because it all matters. It really does. And anyone who tells you that high school does not matter for your vet school application is lying to you. It does. Here are all the things that I wish somebody had told me before I graduated high school. Let's start simple with your classes. When I went to high school, there were 2 types of college courses that you could take. You could take AP classes, which gave you an extra 1.0 on your grade point average if you made an A or a B in the class. But at the end of the semester, or the end of the school year, you had to take an exam and make a certain score to qualify for that to count on your transcript and count as, I took this class, I don't need to take it in college. The other option for my high school was dual enrollment. I think some other schools, maybe some of the private schools around this area, call it IB classes. But dual enrollment classes is where you're actually taking the college course. We had a professor from one of our community colleges come in and teach the course, and you get a 0.5 on your GPA added when you make an A or B in the class. You don't have to take an exam, like an AP exam at the end. You just take a final and you get a grade in the class, and if you've passed the class, then it goes on your transcript and counts towards your college classes as well. So I wanted my GPA to be the highest that it could be, because why have a 4.0 when you could have a 4.50? So I took all AP classes, and I completely dismissed the dual enrollment classes because I was more worried about that 1.0 additional point on that GPA instead of the 0.5, and I really wish that I had not done that, because when it came time to take the AP exams, little to anyone in any of my classes passed them. I took AP Biology. That was the only one that I passed and the only one that I got college credit for. I took AP Chemistry. I took AP Environmental Science. I took AP Government. I took AP Macroeconomics. I took AP US History. I took everything that you could take, and the only one that I got college credit for was the AP Biology. And the only other one that I passed, but not with enough to get credit for my specific college, was AP US History. When you're applying for classes, when you're filling out your course enrollment forms, when you're trying to decide between AP enrollment or dual enrollment, do dual enrollment. Because the thing is that I had all A's in all of those classes. So if I had done dual enrollment instead and gotten A's in those classes, they would have automatically been uploaded to my college transcript. Now, there weren't as many dual enrollment options for my school. It was like history, maybe ethics. So none of my sciences were offered. So I took AP anyways. But when it came to like my history and that ethics course, I did not do dual enrollment. And if I had, that would have been 2 classes that I would have been able to get out the way, which I recommend. So number 1, pay attention to what classes you are picking, especially, it doesn't really matter like your electives, your fine arts, whatever. All of that is just to get into college. But as far as what qualifies and what's going to give you a grade as far as your college courses go, pay attention to those. Because when you're applying for vet school, it's going to ask you if you took your regular fundamentals of biology, and if you passed your AP, you're going to have to upload all of that information into the computer. So it's kind of important to keep track of what AP and dual enrollment classes you took, what grade you got in them. I kept a copy of my high school transcript just so that I would know in the future, but I was told to do that by somebody. If somebody hadn't told me to do that, I would not have done that. Just being honest. One of the benefits of taking those classes in high school and just getting them out the way is that it's one less class that you have to take in college. Because one thing that I learned in my undergrad is that they will change the curriculum requirements on you, and instead of graduating in 4 years, you will graduate in 4 years, and you'll have to take another class in the summer. Get those classes out the way now. Let's talk about experiences. One of the requirements for the vet school application is experience, and they require that you have worked in a veterinary atmosphere underneath a doctor for a certain number of hours, because they want to know that you want to do this. I have plenty of friends who started working in a vet clinic, realized that it just wasn't for them. They didn't want to go through the vet school process anymore. This wasn't the career that they had dreamed of, and it was a wake-up call to them to take a step back and reevaluate where exactly they wanted their future to go. Vet schools want to know that you've at least worked in a vet clinic, or worked around a veterinarian, or worked around animals, so that you know what you're getting yourself into. With that being said, you have all of college to get hours. Yes, very true. In my case, COVID happened, so I did not have all of college to get all my hours done. I was going to do that freshman and sophomore year of college, and then COVID hit and no one would hire me because everything was closed down. Also, during high school, I was not able to work at a vet clinic because my family owns a small business, so I worked for my family's small business. If that had not been the case, I wish someone had told me to go to a vet clinic. You don't even have to work. You don't even have to be getting a pay stub there. You could shadow. Call the vet clinics in your area. Ask them if you can come in and shadow, once a week. Establish a relationship with a doctor who you feel comfortable around. If you don't like the vet clinic that you're working at, if you get bad vibes from the doctor, leave. Go to another one. This is a universal experience in vet med. Sometimes a clinic is just not the fit for you. And when you're 15, when you're 16, when you're 17, you're in high school, you're not even in college yet, you're not working there, you're just shadowing there. It's very easy to feel like you don't have a say, you can't stand up for yourself, and it's very easy to feel uncomfortable. So I don't want anybody to do that. And even though I'm telling you to go shadow at a clinic, if you don't like the vibes, run. If you don't like the vibes, run. Let me say it one more time. If you do not like the vibes, run. Protect your 15-year-old, 16-year-old self. Run. To another clinic. You will find where you belong eventually. Where am I going with this? Get experiences while you can. It can be working. You could be working there, getting paid to work there. It could be shadow work. It could be volunteering at the local zoo, the Humane Society. You could be volunteering, you could be dog walking. Anything that's going to give you interactions with animals, interactions with a licensed veterinarian, or interactions at a vet clinic in general. Even if you're a reception, answering the phone, or you're working in the kennel, you don't have to be a veterinary assistant or be in the surgeries, watching the surgeries happen. Just being in the environment is what they're looking for, especially when you're in high school. Start small, don't force yourself to do all this, especially if you're going to be taking AP courses or dual enrollment courses and you want to keep your grades up, etc. But get hours while you're in high school. Doesn't have to be a lot, but go ahead and establish those relationships now. Make sure that vet school is really your end goal. Assess if you feel comfortable in that environment and if that's what you think that you want to do every day. And earn those hours. Form a relationship with a doctor. And I also know a ton of people who worked at a vet clinic in high school, and then instead of staying in their college town over the summer, they went home for the summer and continued to work at those vet clinics. And those doctors are the ones that wrote the recommendation letters for them. So they formed those relationships early on when they were 14, 15, 16, working in high school, and they just went back every summer, and those doctors loved them and had nothing but nice things to say about them and wrote them the best recommendation letters ever. There's always a benefit to doing what I'm telling you to do. I did a lot of research on applying to vet school throughout this whole entire process, and I just feel like I have a lot of information to share, and I feel like it's just sitting in my brain, and I just want to put it out there because applying for vet school is stressful. And people make it out like getting into vet school is just the hardest thing in the world. But it's really not if somebody helps you and tells you what to do. The other thing that I want to talk about as far as high school, your high school career, high school ending, etc., is applying for college. I assumed that I had to apply to colleges that had a vet school. Little did I know how many vet schools are in the U.S. and are accredited because accreditation is important. There are only 32 vet schools in the United States that are accredited. I assumed that I had to apply to one of those 32 schools because I thought that you had to go to a college that has a vet school attached to it. That is not true. I wish somebody had shook me. I wish someone had told me that that wasn't the way it was. Some people will say it's more beneficial because you can form relationships with people at the vet school, blah, 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 blah. I did all of that, and I did not get into the vet school with the college that I was associated with. I didn't even get an interview there. Anyways, you don't have to do that. If I had known that I did not have to apply to a school with a vet school, I would have done either two things. Number one, I would have gone to a college that I loved and majored in biology or wildlife science or zoology or whatever career interests I have, whatever major is associated with that. As long as you are taking the required courses for your vet school, you can major in whatever you want to major in. Nobody told me that either. Or I would have gone to the community college next to the college near the vet school, taken the first 2 years there, and gotten my associate's degree in like biology or something so I could get all of my prerequisites out of the way at a much lower cost. Then transferred to the college with the vet school, taking the remainder of my course requirement classes for my vet school application there, and then applied. Instead, I applied to one of the most expensive schools in my state, got in, spent a lot of money on tuition, and had the exact same opportunities as the people who went to the community college down the street and then transferred in. We had the same education, we took the same courses, they paid a lot less money, and they had a more successful pass rate compared to the classes that I took. Vet school's expensive, and applying for vet school is expensive, and if I had taken the time to do a little more research, I would have cut cost by either going to community college or cut cost by going to a college a little bit closer to home, maybe living at home, or at least working while in school near home. With that being said, if you are in high school and you're a junior or a senior, I urge you, before applying to colleges, look at the colleges that you want to apply to. Doesn't matter if they're in-state or out-of-state, whatever. Make sure that they offer a major somewhat related to veterinary medicine, if not a pre-vet path. Look at the vet schools that you think you might want to go to, or just vet schools in general, because a lot of them do have the same prerequisite requirements, and you can always adjust your courses that you're taking when you're actually in school. But look online, see what the general course requirements are for vet school. It's going to be your organic chemistries, it's going to be your physics 1, your physics 2, your anatomy 1, your anatomy 2, your physiologies, your biologies, all your sciences. Make sure your school offers those classes, and then go from there. All in all, applying for vet school is not a big deal until you're actually in college and going through the college process. But there are a lot of things that you can do in high school to make your life easier. So don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't get stuck in the same situations that I did. I am here to offer all of the research I did to you, and I'm begging you to listen to me and at least take a little bit of what I'm saying. I am not right. I don't know all, and if you disagree with what I have to say, I'm more than open to hearing what you have to say. If you disagree, comment it below. If you have better advice than what I have to say, comment it below. And if you have any questions about applying, or vet school, or high school, or college, or any of the things, I would be more than happy to answer your questions. So also comment that below. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video, which will more than likely be about the VEMCAS application process, because that is a whole other monster that needs 7 strings of videos. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified when it's posted. Good luck on your journey. I'm gonna go eat because I'm starving.